And it is National Drowning Prevention Week, and we are in the thick of summer, so we decided to look at what you can do to make sure you and your family stay safe and has fun in the water in the Maritimes. We're very pleased to be joined by Michael Melanchuk, Executive Director of the Lifesaving Society of Nova Scotia. Michael, welcome back. Thank you for coming in this week.
Of course.
So it is National Drowning Prevention Week, a super important week. Why this week in July?
The third week in July is historically the week of the year that we have the most drownings. It's, like you said, the peak of the summer. People are out trying to enjoy lots of different aquatic activities, but enjoying the water also comes with risks. And that's why we're here today, is to talk about how you can mitigate some of those risks and be as safe as possible, safer together on the water.
Perfect, and that's a great point. So the theme this year is Safer Together. What does that mean?
Well, we still see, about 20% of drownings annually are people that are out there alone. They were canoeing, they were boating, they were swimming or snorkeling, and they were doing it by themselves. And in some cases, not telling their loved ones how long they were going to be gone or where they were going. And so it's better for us to do these things together. And if you are going out on a boat alone, let somebody know before you go so that they know where you are, when to expect you back.
That's a great point. I think when it comes to swimming, especially in open water, I make it a point to tell people always swim with a buddy. I personally think you should never swim alone in open water.
I agree. There's so many times that I've been out and I don't know how deep it is or where the currents are. And so having somebody with you, if you get into trouble, you can identify them right away and say, hey, I'm not comfortable here. Maybe we should move somewhere else. And vice versa, you can do that for somebody else.
Perfect. I do know someone who likes to do a lot of open water swimming, and it's not always feasible to have someone come. So they have this kind of like heavy it's not heavy, but it's significant floating thing that attaches to them.
Yeah.
So you could grab onto that if you started to get into trouble?
Yeah, we see a lot of people that when they're doing open water swim, there's, inflatable devices that you can tow behind you that make it easy for you to take a break. And that's a great thing to do when you're by yourself. But again, is that we have so many great beaches that have lifeguards.
Yeah.
We see that all the time. When I was a lifeguard, you'd see people come to your beach, go kind of a little bit further out and swim back and forth, training for triathlons
Yes.
or open water swimming. And, so going to those lifeguarded beaches is a great first step.
That's a great point, yes. And I think when we mention inflatables, it's really important. I know that I was at the beach yesterday. There was a note, it's windy, the surf is strong, no inflatables. That's really important, especially for an ocean beach.
Well, and especially in Nova Scotia, the winds can shift to offshore very quickly, and anything that holds you up above the water kind of acts like a mini sail and pushes you, and so it becomes a struggle to get back to shore.
Let's talk about some specific age groups that the Lifesaving Society is focusing on getting the word out this year. Let's start with males aged about 19 to 34. Why is it a group that tends to see a lot of drowning victims?
Historically, we've always talked about this group as risk takers, right? Is that young men, they're kind of testing their limits. And still, the statistics bear it out, is that it's more men that drown than women. And so young men go out and take risks. They say, hey, can we go swim to this island? Can we swim past this break? And those are risky behaviors. And especially in a group setting, sometimes the people that are not as strong swimmers will be like, well, I'm just going to go with my friends. And so we have to watch out for those young men that are pushing their limits.
Perfect. And I think this is an age too where a lot of people start to drink alcohol. And I think it's really important to remind people that alcohol and cannabis and water do not mix.
That's right. We see that a lot, is that alcohol is still a significant contributing factor. There's still statistics coming out with cannabis and things like that, and I'm sure we'll have more information in the coming years. But right now, alcohol is a big one. We have to remember that most people that drowned had no intention of getting in the water. So having open alcohol on a boat or something like that means that, not only are you impaired, but now you're in a vehicle that's risky by its very nature. We have
about 30 seconds left, and there were two more age groups you wanted to touch on, the very elderly and the very young.
Yeah. There's a lot of older Canadians that grew up with, the idea of like, I'm just going to go for a canoe on my own. And I understand that. Remembering to wear your PFD when you're in your boat is important, but also letting people know where you're going. I very much like taking a buddy. And the other group that you mentioned is, our young children that are in the water. We have to stay within arm's reach. Safer Together is the theme this year. And, I love swimming with my kids and enjoying a great day at the beach.
Perfect. All right. Well, if you want to find out more information, know that the Nova Scotia Lifesaving Society has tons on the website. So thank you so much for coming in today, Mike. And we put that information on our website to make it easy for you to find. But stay safe out there and enjoy the water. Go to one of those supervised beaches, and you're going to have a wonderful day with the memories that'll last forever.